Wow, you look really nice. Is there a special occasion?
Year-end review.
Year-end review. This is a special edition of Beers and Budgeting, in which we are going over our entire 2022 budget. How much money did we actually bring in? How much money did we spend? And how much did we save? Hey guys, it's Justine with Debt Free Millennials, the channel to help you crush your debt and live payment free. And this is my lovely co-host, Kyle.
Also known as husband or dad, father.
You're not my father.
To our daughter.
Yes, we have been married almost 8 years.
Yeah.
And we have a 1-year-old daughter, almost a 2-year-old, and we are currently renting in Los Angeles. And 2022 was actually a very big year for us financially, emotionally, career-wise. It was just a big year charged with a lot of milestones. So 2022, our daughter turned 1 year old. I think that was a big milestone because if you are first-time parents, you know those first 12 months are just such a roller coaster of change.
Yeah.
And to know that we made it that first year.
Oh, yeah.
And to see her thrive, it was just really amazing.
Yeah, first words, first steps, all that happened in 2022. It was a good year.
Yeah, it was a great year for Quinn and to see her milestones. What else?
Well, the big one was we moved.
We moved
from San Diego to Los Angeles, a place that 10 years ago, 11 years ago when we first started dating, I would have never guessed we would have ever lived in LA if you would go back in time and ask us, where do you think you'll be living then? Never would have said LA. And here we are.
Here we are. So the move happened in September of 2022, right after I had attended a big conference for my work. And because of that, I ended up contracting COVID. So I had COVID while the movers were trying to pack us up, which meant I had to be isolated, and Kyle also had our daughter at the same time.
It was fun moving with a baby.
Not to mention, you changed careers.
Yeah.
So talk about change on change on change, and not having any assistance from your wife during that week.
I lost a few years of my life during that week.
Yeah.
Mostly the drive up from San Diego to LA during rush hour that turned twice as long as what it was supposed to, and the kid cried for 75% of it and was inconsolable. That was a while. I don't need to go back there. Let's move on from that topic. I'm already feeling that.
So we ended the year being here in LA and getting ourselves settled, knowing the ins and outs of a new city, a new neighborhood, and
we love it.
Yeah.
It's wild. I never thought that I would, but I feel like we live in a bubble in LA. I never get on the freeway to get to work. We saw Eddie Murphy already.
Oh, yeah.
It's just been a crazy adventure of we love the neighborhood.
And even though LA is what we hope to be a temporary home for us, it really has felt good knowing that we've made the right choice in being here. So Kyle's career has us here in LA for at least another year, and then we will be transferring out to Colorado, where we hope to buy our very first home. With that said, and there are a multitude of reasons why we are buying in Colorado. Actually, if you check out the video of where we announce, we have a big announcement, I will link to that up here in the cards for you to check out. You'll get more details on why we made this move to LA and why we're going to Colorado. But that's not why you're here. We're talking about our yearly budget. So let's go ahead and open up the budget and see what we got going on.
So what you're going to see is the income, the expenses for the entire year. How much money did we spend on rent? How much money did we bring in? How much total money did we spend on groceries for the year? We've just used the template that Justine has created, and the very last tab is the whole thing added up, so it's easy to see what the year-end review for you would look like if you downloaded her budget template.
So let's crack open the yearly budget. Our total yearly income, this is what we actually took home, was $172,698.49. That does not seem real.
No, it seems like, where did it all go?
Yeah.
Well, look, the expenses line, $119,055 in expenses for the year. Ugh.
And we only saved $26,252. I will say that, and you're going to see this net of $27,390. You're like, how did you just have $27,000 laying around? You had your big bonus and payout from unused vacation from your old job. So that roughly actually ends up being what the net is. However, there are some discrepancies. My budget is not error proof. So there's going to be some errors inside of the monthly budget. I do my best to try to keep track of everything, but inevitably there's going to be some mistakes in here. So the savings, and I say that because a lot of times in a month we will actually have money left over that we did not spend, and we end up not allocating it to a portion of our budget. Sometimes that's just like, well, we'll table that conversation and then it ends up just sitting in our checking account, or we'll move it. I'll move it to a high yield savings account, but then forget to mark it in the budget. Just wanted to bring that to light.
A little later.
Moving on.
Errors happen, and
Errors
I don't
happen.
care.
So we averaged a monthly take home of $14,391. And if you remember our 2022 budget, we actually budget for an $11,000 take home. So that's kind of crazy that we've had so much additional income coming in. But a lot of that is just from, overtime, bonus, payouts from your work trips, that sort of thing.
I'd much rather undershoot that number than overshoot that number by a long shot.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so should we go down to the actual expenses?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So this year, for rent alone, we spent $38,616.50. And that went right out the door to somebody else's bank account, pay their mortgage. And that was a total of 22% of our total income went just to rent. Now, the percentage-wise, that's pretty good. For living in Southern California, and only 22% of our income went towards rent, that's doing pretty good. I know a lot of families that are doing like 40% towards their rent or mortgage. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it all day.
Well, yeah. Yes.
Percentage-wise.
Yes, percentage-wise, that is fantastic. And also a lot of our other expenses here, because our income was so high this year, our percentages actually seem really quite low compared to what we actually brought in, compared to our income. Like, it's not even on the register for internet and cell phone.
It's less than 1%.
Which is great. I mean, a lot of these are zeros, right? Less than 1%. All of our insurances were less than 1%. So let me highlight groceries because that's a big one. We averaged about $774 in groceries each month. Food inflation was super high last year, over 13% increases, and that continues to ebb and flow with what's going on in our economy. It's tough. I have tried my best to stick to a reasonable grocery budget without cutting out the foods that we really like to eat. It's been a real struggle, and it accounted for 5% of our annual budget.
I think 5% is an okay number.
For sure.
Like, if you're between, depending on how big your family is, of course. Like, if you've got a family with 5 kids, different ball game. But I'd say if your food or grocery bills are between 5 and 10%, maybe 9 and 4%, that's probably average and probably doing pretty good. Mm-hmm. That's my opinion.
Yeah. So groceries, I actually thought wasn't too bad. I know I get hard on myself about this because I'm like, why is food so expensive? And it is, truly, but 5% isn't that terrible. But let's talk about our other big expense in the fixed category, which was our childcare. We paid for an in-home nanny full-time who was amazing. Love her, miss her dearly. If she's watching this, we love you so much. Come back. So that annual expense was $39,160, which accounted for 23% of our annual budget. You'll notice is 1% more than our rent. We actually paid the nanny more than our rent, which is, I think, good, because if you're paying a full-time salary in the San Diego area at that time, you have to be making money. You've got to make ends meet. So between the nanny and the rent, 45% of our budget just done in those two expenses alone.
You know what's funny is I'm sitting here and I'm going, okay, by the time Quinn gets to kindergarten or first grade and she's going to school, we'll have another $3,200 to put in our pockets.
I know, right? That's going to feel like such a payday.
Yeah. And I'm like, what did we do before the nanny?
Okay, let's hop down to fun, because fun actually wasn't too bad either. When I'm looking at the fun category, 3% of our income went towards restaurants. We averaged around $387 per month on restaurants, and mainly the reason why we keep restaurants so low is we do Friday night happy hours, and we average about $50 to $60 on our happy hour outings. So we keep the bill pretty cheap, and also we will eat cheaply. Like, we will treat ourselves on the weekends, but we do not eat out typically Monday through Thursday.
Yeah, Sunday through Thursday.
Sunday,
really.
yeah, Sunday through Thursday, we're typically not eating out. So really Friday and Saturdays are our days to eat out. So we'll eat out Friday night, and then Saturday we'll order Chick-fil-A or get burritos, something that's cheap, but also something that we don't have to make at home. Fun money, we averaged $213 per month. Mainly that was like golf outings or any type of fun activities, date nights, movies, that sort of thing. And then shopping was $511 per month. That was 4% of our budget. And the reason why that's so high is because in September, October, we really went heavy on the Amazon orders, trying to outfit our LA apartment with the essentials. And
yeah, that makes sense.
Just figuring out, okay, we actually have a real laundry room now. Okay, what do we need for that? We have more kitchen space. How do we organize this? So it went a little crazy on the shopping. Oh, did we say we were going to talk about gifts? Yes, we did.
I want to point out how little amount of money I spent on clothes this past year. I spent less than $150 on clothes for the whole year.
Yeah, baby.
True, and I averaged only less than $55 per month on clothes. That's really good.
I don't think I even bought a pair of shoes this whole year.
No, I don't think you did.
I don't know why I find this to be so funny, but I'm like...
You don't value that, though.
No.
And that's completely fine. You can see out of... Your money goes to what you value the most. And clearly out of fun money, it was shopping. But again, it was the outlier of moving.
Yeah.
Which made it so high. Also, we did... Only 2% of our annual budget went towards gifts. So we averaged just less than $250 per month. So we were budgeting only $200 per month for gifts, but we actually averaged more than that, which makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'd say for 2023, because we just had this conversation in December's Beers and Budgeting episode, like, whoa, we really went overboard on gift spending for the holidays. Would it be worth it to increase it to $250? Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
I like easy.
I like turtles.
Okay, 3% went towards apartment decor.
That seems insane to me.
Some of that, I don't have the exact numbers here. We'd have to go through each individual spreadsheet to find what I spent money on in apartment decor. The big ones, though, we did buy some big furniture pieces. We bought that trundle bed for Quinn.
Oh, yeah.
We bought the mattresses as well. So right there, that accounts for more than half.
How many pillows did we buy?
Pillow covers, okay? 3. Let's go down to therapy and memberships. 1% on therapy, mental health. definitely worth the investment there, worth the cost. And then $979 on memberships. Memberships includes all of our subscriptions, including things like our Chase Sapphire annual credit card membership fee, Netflix, Disney Plus. So less than $1,000 for all of that, about $80 per month. Is it worth it?
Yes. There's not a single subscription that I like. This
Paramount
one's
Plus,
useless.
though, I mean, we can't even always get the Chiefs games. That's the only reason why I have that subscription.
That's what I hate is I pay for the service, but they restrict you to local area. I should be able to tune in to whatever game I want to watch as long as it's on CBS somewhere in the country and be able to watch the game. I'll watch those commercials. Who cares?
Let's go down to future. So I'm really happy to see this. 11% of our income went towards our down payment goal. We averaged $1,556 per month in savings towards the down payment. We contributed close to $19,000 in total for that down payment fund, and right now it is sitting at over $157,000 in down payment money. So
It's awesome.
we are really looking forward to buying our first home, like we mentioned earlier, and to know that even though rent and childcare were so high on our expense list, we still made just a little bit of room in our budget to prioritize this goal. That's really awesome. Vacation and treat yourself got 1% each, but really didn't go on vacations. We went to Santa Monica in the summer and did a little hotel stay. I went on three trips if you count the conference, but really 2 fun trips. I did a girls' weekend in Dallas, and then I went and saw my best friend in Colorado in June.
And I didn't do anything.
I don't think you did.
I did play Torrey Pines this year.
Even though that wasn't like a
It wasn't a huge
travel thing.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
Our outside investments, including Stash, Betterment, Robinhood, WEBULL, really did not get a whole lot of the pie this year, which is completely fine. We prioritized maxing out your retirement plan.
Well, that's our play money too. That's us just to learn software, learn investment tools, and so we can give you guys input if you want it, right? So
Yeah, I'm completely fine with that. Quinn's college fund, though, I'm happy to see got $1,200 of money this year. So it's slowly creeping up. And by the way, they just announced that in 2024, you can actually convert any unused 529 money into a Roth IRA up to $35,000. So if your child ends up not going to college, which who the heck knows in 18 years when Quinn is ready to go off and graduate from high school, who knows what college tuition is going to look like?
or what college is going to look like.
Too many students are walking away with absurd amounts of student loan debt that makes it impossible to get ahead in their young adult lives. So
We made a video on the student loan debacle too. So if you want to watch that, because that's part of like, what's the college going to look like in 10, 12 years? You know,
Yeah.
It depends on what happens with student loan forgiveness.
yeah,
So,
pros and cons.
yeah.
Okay, let's go up to the pre-tax paycheck contributions here. So this is, and we weren't clear if this was super like up to date because he changed jobs in the middle of the year.
Yeah.
But all of the categories pretty much remain the same. We have a high deductible health plan in which we paid $5,000.
No, we paid more than that.
Well, if it was $475 a month times 12,
Okay.
yeah, $5,700 dollars for the year for 2 adults and 1 child, so 3 people on that plan, plus
It's not bad.
the HSA.
I know we maxed out the HSA.
Right. Well, this does not include your employer's contribution.
Ah, got it.
So the max for 2022 was $7,300. So I'm assuming maybe this isn't correct. Maybe it's a little bit extra, but you're right. We did max it out.
Yeah. And then I'm going down to retirement. Then I'm looking at that, and I know that that is low. because there was a couple of, like in the transition period between the old employer and the new one, we didn't get these green boxes filled in exactly, and it was kind of chaotic in the beginning of like what happens in your first week, and then it backtracks and takes out more once you sign up for stuff. So this is short, and it includes employer match as well.
Your retirement accounts are going to grow a lot faster than mine because I'm the employer and the employee. And while I can contribute a lot of money as both sides of the coin, I can only contribute as much as what like a percentage of what I actually make.
Yeah.
So yeah, I contributed $12,000, so about $1,000 per month towards my retirement. Okay, monthly expenses. Should we go down and look at the chart?
Sure.
Basically, this is all the information we just saw on the actual budget, but we just broke it down into a pie chart to see visually what were the things that got the most amount of our income. Clearly, nanny and rent and then the down payment were our top three things that we ended up giving our income over to. But then you got things like, groceries got a good chunk. What's this? Shopping got a good chunk. Apartment decor got a good chunk.
Lots of chunks.
Lots
It's
of
real chunky in here.
lots of chunks. Restaurants a little bit. That's actually, I'm really happy about that. Kind of,
Yeah.
I thought restaurants we would have gone crazy with, but we really haven't.
I think that could be part of the pandemic too.
Yeah.
We used to go out a lot more before COVID than in kid.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
It's like, gotta be home at 7 o'clock to put our kid down to bed. Well, do
Yeah.
you want to eat dinner at 4 o'clock, or do you want to just eat till it,
Yeah.
eat after she goes down?
Yeah, so I don't know. This makes sense to me. We have a really good pulse on our budget anyways. I was happy to see that the down payment got, 11% of our budget. So
Yeah. So what percentage went to retirement?
I don't think we can do that comparison because our retirement contributions are pre-tax dollars and these dollars are after tax. So I don't know if we can use that as a percentage. We'd actually have to look at our pre-tax income in order to see that.
Yeah.
Like true comparison.
Not all of it's pre-tax. Some of it's pre-taxed income into retirement. Like maybe when we should do a back of the envelope calculation of like, how much did we actually save for retirement? Because I want to make sure that number is like at least above 15%.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because if
Yeah,
we're
we
not,
should.
I'm like, let's up that percentage
Yeah.
and figure out what we need to do.
And I know a lot of that stuff was kind of on pause because of the move. And we're like, we just don't even know what our expenses are going to be. So that's something I think we could focus on for 2023 is just kind of do a review of how much we are contributing towards retirement now and what are our goals for how much do we want to have in retirement?
Yeah.
And are we hitting that with the amount of monthly savings that we're
Oh
doing?
man, that's a whole nother great question. Thinking long term is like, how much money are we going to need in retirement? Like if inflation continues to go the way it is and all that stuff, it could be a wild number that you need to retire.
Yeah.
Or if it all comes crashing down, maybe you don't need that much.
Okay, let's wrap up this pup and just do a quick recap of our 2022 financial goals. We had a couple of them. Obviously, readjust budget for childcare expenses. That happened. You can see it. I wanted to increase my income to $125,000. I actually ended the year making just over $112,000. So I'm still really proud of myself for that.
Yeah.
I think that's really good. We maxed out your TSP to $20,500. That happened. And we maxed out the health savings account to $7,300. And yes, we increased the down payment to $150,000. Actually, just over now. So we are very, very happy.
Awesome. Huge amount of blessings in here. Couldn't be more thankful for the year and just all the great things that have happened. So it was a good year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in 2023. This also could be a big year for us.
We're hoping to buy a house. If that happens, holy cow, talk about a mess. Man, if we buy a house in 2023, it's going to be a wild ride and a joyful mess. I'm looking forward to that. we'll see what the housing market does and what the opportunities bring about with careers and work and all that stuff.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here and being part of the community. We love joining you every single month and going over the budget, the income, and the expenses. We hope that it inspires you and potentially you and your partner to come together at the kitchen table, crack open a beer, and look at your money. Talk about it in a non-judgmental way, so that you can hit your financial goals, whatever those may be. If you like these types of videos, it would mean the world to us if you could give this a big thumbs up. And please, please, please subscribe to the channel. We love having you all here, and we can't wait to see what happens in 2023. We hope you stick around and join us in that journey.
Thanks.
Thank you for your time.